Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, man, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business here on this Wednesday morning, this hump day, as we start our Don't Sleep on the Dallas Cowboys report because you literally cannot sleep on the Dallas Cowboys. Things happen late in the evening, late at night, first thing in the morning, so keep up to speed with all that is America's team. And understand if you're a troll who thinks that this is about everything in the NFL, who thinks that I am a paid broadcaster that works for a network, understand this is not. This is my YouTube channel. So if I want to on it, I will do so. Because this is not about your team. This is about my team. And I'm going to talk about my team, the Dallas Cowboys, here. See, you have some real issues, buddy. You think that this is something, or you want it to be something that it's not. Go find an Atlanta Falcon YouTube channel. I'm sure there's some out there that don't drink coffee. So, today, guys, we've got our fearless coaching staff, what we have of it, that's going to be working with the Senior Bowl. And we don't have a first-round pick, at least not at the moment, but I have a feeling that you never know with the Dallas Cowboys what they might do. We still have yet to decide on who's going to be offensive coordinator, although I think it's just a done deal that Jerry is just stringing this out and having fun with it. I think this coaching structure, and I said this before, is Kellen Moore will be the offensive coordinator and basically in training. He's going to have training wheels on the bike. You're going to have Jason Garrett, I think, calling the plays. I think Nessmeyer is going to be moving up some and doing more of the really coordinating stuff in there. And I think John Kitna, who pretty much is a done deal, will be the quarterback's coach. Me and Michael had a disagreement about this yesterday and things. And I say, well, listen, here's what I honestly think is going on with the Cowboys. I'm concerned. I'm concerned about Jerry Jones. A lot of people have said things. A lot of times we say things in life that we don't necessarily mean to be what they are. We just say things all the time. I could kill you, man. You really couldn't kill him. You really aren't going to kill him. But you say those kinds of things and not really mean what you exactly say. A lot of people say that the Cowboys won't win one until Jerry Jones is dead or gone or out of here. I got to tell you, the Monday after we lost that playoff game, and Jason Garrett had a press conference, there was an epiphany of Stephen Jones. This is just my conclusion. I've heard a few things, and I like to piece stuff together. I tell you guys, I don't sleep at night a lot. I'm awake at 2:30 in the morning, contemplating life, reading, and looking at text messages from people and things like that and stuff. So I'm constantly thinking, and I'm always trying to solve problems. I mean, that's what I do with what I do in construction work. I see a space and I've got to fit in there as much as possible. I got to see how it's going to come out. I get given a problem. Here's what we want. We don't know how it's going to get made, but we just need it done. And so my mind operates on trying to take those pieces and putting it together. But there's been little tad bits of things that have kind of been said or done that make me think that there's more than what meets the eye. There's more going behind the scenes. There's reading between the lines, so to speak. I feel like there's more of a sense of urgency to win right now. When Stephen Jones, and I tell you, Stephen Jones is like E.F. Hutton, and I'm sure you guys have no idea what that reference is, okay? But it used to be a stockbroker. And what it used to be is the commercials would be when E.F. Hutton speaks, everybody went like this. And it says, everybody listens. And Stephen Jones is E.F. Hutton. Stephen Jones is not like Jerry. Jerry's free with the lip service. Jerry will talk all kinds of stuff. Jerry will go 180 and everything on it. He is like Mr. Misdirection, you know? He's the card player that you're trying to follow the card. He says so much, your mind just spins. Stephen Jones isn't that way. Stephen Jones, you can read Stephen Jones, and when he says something, he means it. The end of last year, when he said, Zeke, we cannot have these distractions, whether they're your mate or elsewhere. We cannot. And you look at how Zeke Elliott, TMZ, the best they got was him, Connor Williams, and Sean Lee going to Vegas and playing craps, and he's spending $500. He's dropping $500 on the table. Or when they tried to bait him and say, Tom Brady says he can drink so much beer. Can you drink that much beer? While he's buying shoes. You see Zeke. Phew, ain't no problems there. None. When everybody said that Dez Bryant was coming back, I told you pay attention to Stephen Jones. Because Stephen Jones will give you the key to what's going on. Everybody else talking about how much Dez was important and, you know, how he's coming back and everything else, but Stephen Jones was blank-faced, cold. I told you, Dez is gone because of Stephen Jones. And I feel like Stephen Jones has taken more responsibility and power over this team. If you look back 7, 8, 9 years ago, think about how we approached the draft. We were free-wheeling and dealing, moving up and down, trading left and right and everything else, you know. It was the Dallas Cowboy cam on what are they going to do. You remember we traded 2 picks, a first and a second, to get Morris Claiborne, who we were told was the best defensive player in the draft. Ha ha! We always went for the sports cars as opposed to the road graders. Remember when everybody knew we were going to take Johnny Manziel and how Jerry was in love with him? But who was it that took the card away from Jerry and said, oh, hell no? Remember when we used to sign the Greg Hardys and the Brandon Carrs in free agency? When we'd overpay players to stay here. Remember DeMarco Murray? Everybody said, pay the man, pay DeMarco Murray. You can't let that guy. But they let him walk. And because of that, we got a compensatory pick that we ended up getting a quarterback with. The Dallas Cowboys have changed, and it's been a progression. Bit by bit. You may not have noticed it, but many things have happened. It used to be at this time of year, we'd be about $25 million over the cap. We'd turn around and gut the team. We'd go through and restructure Tony Romo's contract or DeMarcus Ware's or, you know, somebody's to get some more cap relief, kicking it down the road. Just using the credit card to buy dinner. Last year was the first year we ended the season having a surplus. $19 million. This year, it's somewhere around 60-some, and it's going to grow because I don't think Sean Lee is going to be coming back as well as some others. That dynamic has happened because Jerry wasn't able to do the things like we used to always do. Hold on to guys too long. And that's where you see Dez Bryant going. It's painful because you look at a DeMarcus Ware and you say he should be a lifelong Cowboy. You look at a Tony Romo and say he should be a lifelong Cowboy player, get in the ring. But the reality is a team like New England, nobody gets a retirement party. They don't hold on to him. And it's the cold, harsh reality of being a winning organization. You have to continually get young. You cannot overspend for talent. You have got to succeed in the draft and have homegrown talent. You have to find talent, bottom basement style, that nobody else wants, that doesn't cost you a fortune. When you find an Antoine Woods who's getting peanuts as opposed to going out and signing a $10 million a year free agent, you're winning. And that is because of Stephen Jones. And that's where I look at Will McClay, who is the head of scouting. I think he's really the GM, but it's in name. It's not in name. Jerry Jones is the owner, but I think you're seeing more of Stephen Jones as the power structure. What makes me wonder is when you hear Stephen Jones say things like Jerry would give up his gold jacket for another ring. What's the rush? We got plenty of time. We got fourth youngest team right now in the NFL. We got Pro Bowlers galore. You got a potential head coach who's going to be running your defense next year. You've got a great defense. You got an offense that came on. You just went to the playoffs, got past the first round. You look at this and you say, you've got a window now. 2014, you looked at the window closing. This window, we're knocking down the whole wall. So why would you say that he would give that up? You got time. With the talent you've got on the field, with a bit of luck and a couple more pieces, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to win one in the next couple of years. So you should be able to have both, right? And Jerry was talking yesterday, and this is the one that really kind of got to me. I always talk about my own mortality. I'm 53 years old. A lot of people that I know my age aren't here anymore. Being a black man, my life expectancy isn't as long as some others. I've lived more than half my life. I've got less days in front of me than behind me. And that's why I work hard every single day, because when I'm gone, I want to leave things better than when I found them. I want people to be able to remember me for good things that I did and a mark that I left on the world. So every day I reflect out at my fire pit on, did I do something to make me a better person and the world a better place? And Jerry was talking about the Senior Bowl yesterday, you know? He was talking about how he was reflecting on how much he enjoys this aspect of being the owner of the Cowboys and stuff, looking at this young talent and stuff that's ready to blossom in the NFL. And he said, I hope I can see a few more of these. Maybe and I'm not trying to start something, okay? I'm not trying to start a rumor or anything, but I keep seeing and hearing these little bits and pieces, and I feel like there's been that big power shift. From the moment that Jason Garrett was satisfied with winning a playoff game and saying that nothing would change as far as the coaching staff, I think the light bulb went on in Stephen Jones with that urgency, like, wait a minute. Garrett, that's not it. That's not the goal. That's not what we're here to achieve. Screw that. Because you saw Stephen Jones, and I tell you, you don't hear Stephen Jones talk much, but remember, when Stephen Jones talks, you need to listen. He said pump the brakes, and you see Rod Martinelli gone. Scott Linehan gone. And I think that set in motion the change of the Dallas Cowboys with a sense of urgency. And I think you'll see that reflected in maybe a little bit different of a philosophy where the Cowboys may look at this season coming up and saying that this needs to be the all-in year. They'll sign DeMarcus Lawrence. Of course, they'll get Zeke taken care of and Dak and Amari Cooper, because you already see the fact that they took that chance on getting Amari Cooper. Make no mistake about it. That was a hell of a risk. You took a chance on a guy, because that's kind of going back to that old freewheeling and dealing days. Because if you looked at the body of work of this year of Amari Cooper, it wasn't that much. And you looked at the Cowboys were trying to make a move for Sammy Watkins, which again is different than their normal philosophy of Stephen Jones. Because he was $16 million. And I think as much as Stephen Jones says that, oh, well, they don't expect to be doing any major moves in free agency, I don't know about that. I think if they see a piece out there that they can rent for a year or two that may help to get them over the hump, that the Cowboys will do it, because I feel a sense of urgency out there. I think it is, we need to win it right now. I don't know. I'm just concerned, and I hope everything's okay with Jerry. That being said, I got a bunch of work I need to do here in the workshop so I get this thing finished. I've got a lot to do to get ready for this trip. I've got, I got to get all my equipment and things together. I finally found, the biggest problem I have is I've got my Mevo cameras. They have a case, that's so big that they go in. And I know I have two of them, so you got two of those. And then I have my big microphone, which has its case. And when you start traveling, especially when you fly, you're trying to put all these things in a suitcase, and they take up so much space. So I found these Apache boxes, oh my God, that are waterproof, hard plastic, and they've got the egg crate cushioning and stuff in there. You can customize it for stuff. So I found two of these at Harbor Freight, and they're about so big, like a small suitcase, so I could actually use it as a carry-on. But I've already taken one of them, and I've got my two Mevos in there. I've got my Blue Yeti microphone in there. I've got the controls for the cameras. I got my handheld mic and stuff all in one box. I've got all the cables, and it all closes up tight where you can shake it, throw it all over the place, throw it in the river, and it's going to be protected. So that's going to be cool, and it's going to make it easier when I go on site. Maybe when we're going downtown, we're going to go ahead and show the sights and sounds. I'll be able to, boom, set my Mevo up, and you can see the crowds and stuff down at Super Bowl Experience, or the different events and things, because I want to bring you guys coverage like you don't see anywhere else. And I know there will be literally hundreds of sports stations and stuff like that in different languages, different countries and all that and stuff. But I'm looking for Dallas Cowboy fans. I'm looking for our people out there. And if you see me or if you hear about me, come look for me, because I'd love to get you all on camera, because this channel is not about me. It's not about Joe Boo. It's about all of us together. And I want to bring you guys the feeling that you are there at the Super Bowl, even though our Dallas Cowboys aren't. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you guys soon.